And we're going to talk about energy from the point of view of tantra and yoga, and how we get transferred negative energy from people and what can we do about it. This is very important to know. This is precious information that I'm going to be providing. This is an introduction, and here we go. Let's start, ladies and gentlemen. So the first point is to understand that there is a constant energy transfer in our interactions with people. And you have an electromagnetic field that we call the aura that protects you from the external world. This protects you from sickness, illnesses. Your immune system is affected through these, and also energy from other people. Okay, so why nobody, Claudia, why nobody is teaching us this precious knowledge? Well, because most people don't know, and because the Western mind in our world is scientific oriented and materialistic. And if they don't have solid evidence of these, material evidence that has been obtained in a lab, they don't follow it. But modern science has now confirmed that we do have an electromagnetic field that has different colors, different tonalities. This can be measured, photographed, and understand how it is, what it works, how it affects our interactions, and how we see and feel the world. But this knowledge has been in India for thousands and thousands of years, many centuries. The yogis and sages knew this because they studied themselves and the world around them, like I have seen no many cultures do to this level of depth. Okay, so the aura is there. Everybody has it. You have it. I have it. So what happens? I'm gonna get my glasses here to see my notes. What happens with this aura? So how this energy transfer occurs is that outside in the world, there is chaos. You don't notice it, but there is chaos, right? There is a lot of thoughts, emotions, vibrations, energy waves, energy vibration, and we are not conscious of these on the day-to-day. We are not actually aware of these external energies. In Tantra, we refer to many things as energy because that's what they are. Look at the Serbian-American inventor Nikola Tesla. He created a lot of modern inventions about, I believe, cars and combustion and things like that. And he was a genius in mathematics, physics, engineering. And Tesla attended talks in New York City about this information about energy from the yogic point of view, from Vedanta. He wanted to understand it more in depth. So this is what he says, that everything around us in the cosmos and the universe is energy and vibration. So Tantra knew this. Tantra is a school of thought, a philosophy, so to speak, that teaches people how to understand their own energy and the energy of the world, the energy of others. And this is beautiful knowledge that we can now understand and absorb with all these beautiful teachings, right? So if everything around us is energy and vibration, we are also interacting with other people's energies, just common sense. And most people are unaware. So that also extends to our thoughts and our emotions. Our thoughts are energy, our emotions are energy. There are different energy frequencies for different emotions. And also colors can be assigned to emotions. This has been also proven by science through scans and studying the brain. It has different colors according to different temperatures and different emotions also can be related to different colors. So all of our thoughts and our emotions, we think in our Western psychology studies, we think that we create these thoughts, that we produce emotions. But in this yogic knowledge, they interpret these more in depth, more like a bird's eye view. And they say that our thoughts are mostly generated from different sources. Different sources, our thoughts are influenced by many things. The emotions that we feel sometimes, have you ever felt like you're having an emotion all of a sudden and you feel like, where is this coming from? It's coming from nowhere. So a way to explain this is because literally it may be coming from everywhere or nowhere, right? Because you are not actually creating the emotion necessarily. Of course, we do have the potential for creating thoughts and creating emotions by biochemistry, by thought patterns, and by behavioral analysis. Of course, we have the will, the power to initiate this energy function of thought and emotion, but also we cannot avoid or ignore the fact that we are also influenced by external thoughts and emotions, and this is energy. So to prove these in the Western mind, the famous psychiatrist Carl Jung, he actually studied a lot of schools of thought of India or yoga to understand what he called then in Western psychology, modern psychology, the collective unconscious or the collective conscious. There is a collective consciousness that we are immersed into, so to speak, if you want to visualize it. We are swimming in this cosmic consciousness and also at a lower level, a collective consciousness that is formed by the thoughts, emotions, vibrations, and all kinds of things from people, from communities, from societies, from plants, from animals, from the universe, from the cosmos. So this is what Carl Jung called the collective unconscious. Why unconscious? Because we live every day without being aware of it. We are unconscious, but it definitely affects us. This is why we explain that some people may have similar dreams, or we dream things that have no apparent explanation, very strange nightmares, dreams. So we may be picking up from this collective pool that we swim in, collective unconscious, which becomes more open, or we become more vulnerable to it when we are dreaming. During that state with our consciousness leaves the body, not completely, but in a way, our soul, our connection with the spirit, with the one being, travels, disconnects from our physical body, and it goes to different places, different dimensions, and returns. And this is all why we think what we think and we feel what we feel. So how can we protect ourselves or diminish the impact of these collective energies that are floating constantly around us? Okay, so Tantra says that the aura, strengthening our aura, which is the electromagnetic field around us, is going to help protect yourself. So I have different recommendations on how to do these. Okay, so the first is be cautious about different meditation practices. Okay, there are many different methods of meditation. We refer to passive meditations, to classic methods of meditation that come primarily from Buddhism, like Vipassana meditation. Vipassana meditation is considered passive because the practice is to actually try to empty the mind and have no thought and no awareness of the body or the mind. So we become very open and very vulnerable to other energies. So Tantra recommends to be careful with these Buddhist type of meditations, very passive, that create a gap. So these are laws of the universe, laws of nature, right? So if you see nature, if we observe nature, we know that nature fills any gap that is there, right? Water will fill a gap, earth will fill gaps. Nature doesn't like empty spaces unless it is the ether or the akash, because it has a reason to be. It's not really empty, but it's considered to us like space. But usually, whenever in the universe, in the cosmos, in our world, there's a gap, energy tries to fill that gap. So if passive meditations make your mind very passive and very empty, even if it's for seconds, there is a potential that energy from other people can fill that gap. We can also talk about ghosts, entities, spirits, right, that can possess people. This is also true, but I'm not going to talk about these today, but just take it as energy from other people, negative energy from people, from the people that you and I see every day. And so these meditations are taught by many modern gurus, but they don't caution people about the potential danger. So one of my gurus in Rishikesh, who is a tantric teacher, a very beautiful soul, he recommends us that we always incorporate back from meditation to make a pause and not rush into talking or interacting with people right before meditation and right after meditation. There is a small gap to slowly incorporate into that mode of being conscious and aware and fill up our mind again with energy of the day-to-day activities, right? And thoughts and emotions. So this is important practice to do, to be aware, to protect your aura. And then why is important not to talk to people immediately after we come out of meditation, any kind of meditation? Because most people, especially people who are not in meditation practices or spiritual practices, they are living in a different mode, very rajastic, usually agitated, with a lot of goals and dreams and desires and urgencies, and they want to fulfill their own needs, their own agenda. So they are energy takers instead of energy givers, right? And also, we on the spiritual path, we should not give to people that easy. Not just because you are called a so-called spiritual person, whatever that means. That means that you have to be available and present for everyone who wants to talk to you. And I'm going to explain why in a moment. But this regarding other people's energies is because most people have all this chaotic mind, and you want to protect your aura from this dumping this chaotic mind on you. Okay, so we are not saying that you should not talk to people, that you should ignore your friends or become a hermit and not talk to anyone, but just be smart about it, be aware of your energy, and be aware of your own aura and your own territory, which is your precious treasure, your gift from the divine, from the universe to you, is like a golden child, like my guru says. And you should not put your golden child in the hands of everyone you see, just on people who are responsible, mature, and can take care of their own energy, right? Even mental energy. So that is the first recommendation, okay? So the first one is to be be aware of passive meditations. And if you do them, be careful to enter them slowly and exit the meditation slowly and take your time. And be aware that you can absorb energies during this gap. Okay? So another principle that we have to understand in Tantra to protect our energy is that in its original pure state, all energy is Shakti in different forms. In other words, all energy comes from the divine or the source and is manifested in different forms in our physical world. All energy comes from the one source, but it is here manifested in the physical world in different forms, like we see everything around us, material things, even subtle things. These are manifestations. Energy is also everything you see in different forms, in different materials, different manifestations. So a very important practice that I'm not going to go into detail today, but a very important practice is to understand these key concepts that can change your life. There is nothing good or bad in the world. It is the same energy that comes from the divine. Shakespeare, the British writer, as Shakespeare said, nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. So we, in our pure state, are pure beings. The problem is that when we are born in this physical world and we get educated and brought up by society, educational systems, philosophies, we lose that purity, that original state. Our body, our mind gets polluted, so to speak, by social conditioning. And the bad aspect about this is that is usually not very positive. We are surrounded by chaos, by negativity, and by negative energies, by fears of people, corruption, right? They have corrupted sex, corrupted energies, corrupted heart. And this is put in our brains when we are children slowly, maybe at different levels. If you're lucky, you didn't have a lot of negativity in your life, but many people in the world grew up in very difficult environments, maybe war, maybe betrayals, maybe very toxic, neglectful parents, circle of friends, neighbors. So these slowly corrupts our energy. So yes, you can talk about negative energy in those terms and positive energy from things or people who have not been so corrupted in their energy and in their soul. But there are negative energies, but in the pure state, the original state, all energy is just energy. It's not good or bad. So this is just a little introduction that I want to tell you. I'm going to be explaining this in more detail in my classes coming up, private classes. And this is key to evolution, to transformation, to spiritual growth. Many spiritual people that I know, I have met, including some teachers, do not understand this aspect. It's very difficult to understand that there are two sides of the same coin, and the coin is the divine, is the universal intelligence, and there is no defect, no mistake in the universe. There is no mistake in the divine. So everything is there for the reason. Okay, the third point that I want to share is train your mind with your own negativity first. Before we can help people, if we want to call ourselves healers, which is not my preference to call people healers, you have the power to heal yourself. You don't need a third person, an intermediary. I think we are coming out of the era of teachers and intermediaries like priests and gurus, and we are seeing the end of the ashram era. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, that's right. We are seeing the end of the ashrams. Ashrams are places of spiritual pilgrimage and satsang. You can stay there with a guru, But in the near future, with technology, artificial intelligence, people awakening, children are being born like indigo children, star seeds. These sound like new age terms to define something that we could not comprehend, right? But let me tell you, this is absolutely true. It's happening. We are going from the third dimension to the fifth dimension. Sri Aurobindo in India and the mother, his spiritual partner, they wrote and talk about it extensively, about this transition. They just use different words. Many Hindu, Indian gurus have explained that the world is going to go through this transition from one mode to another, from slavery of the mind to liberation. And for this transition that has been brewing slowly for the past 100 years, 200 years, maybe more, but we are seeing an intense speed these past 50 years maybe, or 100 years, very fast speed in awakening in people. And many gurus don't want to recognize this, right? They sometimes minimize people. They say that not everybody can achieve this awakening, but children are already being born awakened in many areas, right? Not every children, but this is evolution. If we want to take it to the next level, of course, children on these past few decades have been born with a different intelligence, a bird's eyes view. They understand energy, they can see energy, they understand the duality, non-duality, the divine, and all of these are all of these children are part of the evolution. These children are the seeds that our gurus have planted for the past hundreds of years. Do you really think that gurus and their hard work and commitment, some of them giving their life for these, their seeds that they planted in our hearts and our mind, are not going to be taking roots? And we are now seeing the plants, and they are going to become strong trees for our world and our universe to continue our human evolution. And this is also part of this understanding of energy. And if you understand your energy and the energy of the world, you understand evolution, right? So this point of non-duality is very clear for some people, but not so much for others. There is no good and bad, but thinking make it so. Makes it so. Okay. And so this is the transformation that we are working on with this energy work. Okay, so the third point is to train your mind. First, you start with yourself and you train your mind and its own negativity before you can help the world. What do I mean? So the negativity that you see in the world is a reflection of your negativity. As within, so without. This is another universal law and esoteric principle. As within, so without. As above, so below. So this, what you see outside, without, is inside of you, within. So first you have to train your mind to get rid of negativity. You have to purify your mind. That's what we call with purification. And also you have to clean your body of energies. Okay, and how do I do these? Well, there are different practices. And do not think about emotions as a word. Okay, this is the first step. There are 3 steps, okay? 3 steps for transforming negative energy into the pure state of neutral energy. I don't even want to call it positive energy. It's just neutral energy in its pure state. So the first step is to see your emotions, observe your emotions, but don't label them. Don't hang on the name of the emotion. Don't identify yourself with this feeling, this thought, this emotion, this diagnosis if you are going to counseling. Diagnosis is simply a package of check marks to guide counselors and psychologists to see this is what the person is feeling. We call it this name, and this is the proper treatment that seems to be working to help this person. Okay, this is not bad. This is helping society, but it's not transforming humanity radically because we are hanging on the name and the label and we are liking it. We are unconsciously getting addicted to this label that I am bipolar or I have depression. A lot of people come to sessions to me and they say my depression, my sadness, my anxiety. And of course it feels like it is yours, but it is not you. And what I mean by this is that these, like I said before, these feelings, thoughts, and emotions are influenced by universal energies, community energies of the community, of the country you live in, of the people you are hanging out with, of your ancestors. It comes from many, many different resources. So, does it make sense to call it my sadness or my depression? Why would you adopt this instead of trying to shake it off, right? Instead of trying to transcend it. And how do we transcend it, Claudia? How? Well, with these 3 steps. The first one is don't label the emotion, even when it has a name for our proper functioning in the mental health field. Don't hang on too strongly to the name and the label because it creates almost like an entity, like a monster that you think you cannot transcend. But you think about it just as energy and you see how your world will transform because that's what it is. It is energy. Emotions are energy. Thoughts are energy. And we give them names just to identify them and treat them. But you can treat them also without a name, right? You can't talk to people without knowing their name. It's just if you relate in with energy. So don't say this emotion is wrong or is bad or is good, okay? So don't name it, don't judge it. Don't judge it means don't name it, don't hang on to it, don't attach to it, don't adopt it as your identity, and don't label it as good or bad. For example, if you feel rage or anger, sometimes we feel the tension because we repress it. We don't want to feel it. We don't want to express the anger because we have been taught that it is bad. It is a negative emotion. And of course, it is negative in the sense that it can be destructive. But like the first principle I told you about, that nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so, anger can also be positive because anger can bring you out from deep depression. Anger can bring you out of deep sadness, self-pity, self-sabotaging, low self-esteem. Anger can help you set boundaries with people. Anger can help you gain more respect from people. It just has to be a healthy anger expressed in the best possible way. Okay, so don't rush to feel shame or bad because you have an emotion or you are feeling an emotion and you repress it or suppress it. The second step for transforming negative energy into neutral energy is to accept the thought or the emotion that is coming to you or that you are feeling in you and establish yourself in that energy. Okay, that means that you're going to let it be. You're gonna sit with it like your friend. This is what my guru in India tells us very beautifully. He says, sit with life as your best friend. And life includes all types of emotions like the rainbow. As they are colors of the rainbow, they are emotions, and you should accept them all. There's a beautiful poem by Rumi that says something like that I love, that emotions come knocking at your door and you should open the door laughing, welcome them in like guests, like guides who have come from beyond to teach you something, to guide you. So even Rumi, this wonderful poet who wrote about love and the divine, understood this concept because it comes from divine intelligence. For the divine, there is no bad emotion, not good emotion. It's a guide that is sent from beyond to help you see something you have to see for your own evolution. This is one of the biggest secrets of spiritual practices and philosophies that I can transfer to you right now. If you can understand this point, you have made so much progress, and it's so beautiful and so wonderful. So we honor our masters, our gurus, for teaching us these beautiful principles and assimilating them in our own life, not just as a thought or as a concept intellectually in the mind, but actually living them, experiencing them. When you sit with your emotion, with the emotion of sadness or the emotion of anger or frustration, you don't push it away, you don't label it, you sit with it, you let it flourish like a flower. It turns into a different energy vibration. This is the alchemy, the transformation that we study in yogic practices, especially in tantra. Okay, so that's the second step. The third step for transforming negative energy is to use your breath and connect with your heart. In our studies, our practices of meditation and breathing as tantrics we feel that the heart is the center of transformation, because the heart, it has been proven by modern science that the heart has nerve endings very similar to the brains, and it is now believed that the heart has its own intelligence, just like the gut in the belly. The stomach has a level of intelligence and nerve endings that give you signals in the form of energy that we call a gut feeling or intuition. Sometimes it's called intuition. For me, intuition is a little more connected to the higher intelligence, but we are all connected to higher intelligence. So we are receiving this information from higher intelligence, and it is transmitted in different parts of our body. So one of them is the heart. The heart center is a huge point of many meditations that I have explored, including in Vedanta, in yoga, not so much in Buddhism, but I explored some meditation practices from Osho, from Vedanta, from Buddhism, including Vipassana. But now I have been practicing for more years these more active meditations to understand my own energy. So this is what we mean with the third point, right? Of using your breath, connect with your heart, and you're going to absorb the feeling of this emotion, this energy into your heart, and you breathe in the emotion, focusing on your heart center, and you're going to breathe out, focusing on love and blessing. Love and blessing, or something very positive, but usually love is one of the highest forms of energy, and you are going to transform, to alchemize what we perceive as a negative emotion or a negative event or even a crisis situation. You can also use these steps, it's the same thing, to transform. Breathe in the emotion, breathe in what you're feeling, breathe out love and blessings to the universe, to your surroundings, to your life. Okay, this is an incredible practice. And the heart is related to fire. The fire burns negativity, burns garbage, and transforms it into fuel, into energy. which is more positive, more neutral. So you see the connection here with everything I'm saying, right? Okay, so after training successfully on this exercise for transforming your own negative thoughts, your own negativity, your fears, your insecurities, your low self-esteem, your jealousy, everything, you have to practice this transformation every time, every day you feel something negative, something out of balance, something that is holding you back, blockages. And this may take months or years. I don't know, it depends on you. I don't want to give you a time frame, but once you are successful in doing this, every time very easily comes to you, almost naturally, then you can go to the next step, okay? In understanding energy. And these 3 steps are going to clean your aura, and your breath also purifies your body and your aura. There is a types of breathing that you can do that I can talk about in my classes in more detail. So this is a practice that you have to get into it, right? The 3 steps. But I'm going to tell you, for immediate protection of negative energy from other people, okay? You can do very immediate steps that I'm going to tell you. So one is mantra japa, mantra chanting. You should get a mantra. You can get it from a teacher, from a spiritual teacher, from a guru. For in India, it's considered a teacher has different levels, so to speak, not like different graduations and levels that a teacher goes through. And not anybody can give you a mantra. Traditionally, only high gurus that have achieved very high states of mastering their mind and their body and these practices are the appropriate person to give you a mantra. They are usually connected with a lineage. It's called parampara, a lineage of descendants of teachers that transmit this knowledge. And the teacher herself has to do, it's called a purushtan, which is the repetition of many mantras, hundreds of times. Sometimes in a time frame we actually go through the homework of repeating hundreds of times a mala, which is one count, one round of the mala, hundreds of times, 1008 times, sometimes in 2 years or a year and a half. So when you achieve these, it's called purushtan, this practice of doing this amount of mantra japa in a time frame, you are considered to have enough energy, force, life energy, prana, to be able to give others a mantra and also teach them these things, okay? So I personally don't talk a lot about my own training, but my teacher has told me that it's okay to start talking about it. So I have done these homeworks, these purashtan and repetitions, not necessarily to give mantras, but for me, for my own growth, for my own strength, from strengthening my aura, my energies, and why not to help others if grace allows me, right? If that happens, why not to help the world? So that is one thing that you can do very quickly, okay? So what lineage I'm coming from in India, I started learning with a teacher, Magyan in India, an Indian woman who teaches many of these things. I also have another teacher in Rishikesh, is a guru called Satya, and he also focuses a lot in somatic exercises and tantric energy management. And he has taught me very practical tips that are mostly, all of these are from him, in mixed with my Indian teacher also, the woman Magyan. And I'm combining the teachings that they have given me, and I was initiated by my Indian teacher Magyan into the Dattatreya Sampradaya, is the lineage of Swami Samad Sai Baba, from the Trimurti Dattatreya. So this is just a short explanation of these how all of this works. It makes sense, it has a purpose, and it has a lot of homework and real spiritual practices that one has to do before we can start even talking about these topics. Okay, so mantra chanting you can do out loud or in your mind when you are interacting with people. You can just repeat. You can do a simple mantra, a word. It can be Om Namah Shivaya, or larger mantras depending on the mantra you were given by your guru. You can chant the Gayatri mantra, is available online, Gayatri mantra. You can chant that, or the Ganesh mantra, Ganapati sutras. But to keep it simple and not complicated, just choose a mantra that resonates with you, or ask for one from a competent teacher that can give you one according to tradition if you want to really get into these. And just use it in your mind when you're talking to people. If you feel that people are trying to get your energy a lot and trying to invade your space, they don't let you talk, they just want to push their own beliefs, their own agenda, you can disconnect your energies by mentally chanting or repeating a word, a mantra japa. It can also be a mantra repetition or chanting within yourself, or even a paragraph from your own religion. It doesn't have to be related to Hinduism or India or any of these. It can be your own religion, a verse that you love from your spiritual books, a paragraph or a phrase that you feel protected with. It's the same effect, okay? Why it is the same? Because there's only one source and different manifestations of energy, which we call religions. Religions are the way we package these teachings, which have been corrupted a lot, but that's another story. So just do it when you're talking to people. And when you do this mantra, the mantra is creating awareness in you, coming back to you, creating this whirlpool of energy around you, strengthening your aura, your electromagnetic field that is your shield. And you are going to be kind of protected from this interaction that you are not feeling very good about. So this is, my teacher calls this spiritual martial arts, because you have to be ready to defend yourself in the world. You know, there are a lot of gurus that speak very nice, but they are not street smart. I am not street smart. Really, I started being very intellectual, always reading, almost in the library, in the bookstore, reading, absorbing knowledge, taking courses. But I think that era of me is ending or has ended, and now I'm putting everything into practice. So now I'm becoming more street smart in my own way, because it's not me. I'm not street smart in many areas that I should be, but I'm getting there with a little more spiciness, a little more juice. I'm feeling very comfortable with saying no, with setting boundaries when I have to, with leaving conversations or groups if I don't feel like talking. So this is also a practice in itself that I'm going to talk about in another video. If I have time to record it before this is posted, I'm going to put a link over here or over here. And this is a practice in itself of connecting with yourself and go within in interactions with people. Even if you are not the nice girl that they expect you to be by social conditioning and expectations, gender roles, all of that. So of course I am respectful and nice, you should be too, but always with being smart and putting yourself first. Be selfish, protect your energy. If you're a mom, if you're a wife, if you're a woman, protect your energy, put yourself first. Okay, you hear me? Yes. Because if you don't protect yourself first, you have no energy left to give to others. Okay, this is also another universal principle. If you are not feel yourself first, you cannot give anything to others. So you have to start with yourself Okay, and moving on to the next step is, I was talking about 2 quick things you can do for immediate protection, okay? Besides the practice that I taught you about, the 3 steps, these are the 2. Mantra repetition in your mind during interactions with people, anything you feel. And the other step is avoid prolonged eye contact with people, random people that you don't know. And don't just talk to anyone randomly, okay? This may sound like a very beautiful, very spiritual practice. People get very excited when they are attending workshops and learning all these beautiful teachings and philosophies, and they start feeling life force and prana in them, and they want to be like kind of like Mother Teresa, very nice, very smiling all the time, very gentle. And even when that may be your vibe and is very respectable, sometimes you have to be very smart and put yourself first, okay? A lot of this behavior of being super nice is just an ego approach of your ego to want to please people, to come across as nice, as gentle, so you are not alone and you make a lot of relationships for your business or your social media, whatever, right? And I'm not saying this is wrong, it's okay, but if you really want to go deep, deep, deep into your spiritual practices and understanding energy, you have to go beyond that. You have to protect yourself. And how do you protect yourself? First of all, you have to remember that when you grow spiritually, you accumulate a lot of life force, prana, and very strong energies, and people can sense that, they can feel that. And most people are not like that. They are energy vampires. They are going to want to feed off that energy, that presence, that awareness that you bring. Hopefully you can bring that. And they are going to trespass. That's how my guru Satya says. People are going to trespass. They are going to barge into your space, asking you personal questions, shooting a lot of questions at you. I used to answer the questions, but I didn't like them, but I answer them anyway. So now I don't answer them necessarily. I go very slow. I make gaps. I take my time. And this is a way of protecting your energy and the knowledge that you have acquired, because when you are in contact with the source, connected with yourself, with your within, with your inner being, this is your precious child, right? And you are not just going to give your child to anyone who comes with 100 questions or demands or wanting to make eye contact with you, right? And you have to know when to look someone in the eyes and when to not to look someone in the eyes. I don't mean by this to become shy and avoidant and avoid looking people in the eyes. I'm telling you to be conscious, aware, and smart about it, selective, and have a purpose for it. And more importantly, feel. The eyes are the windows to the soul, right? So you can feel when something is off, when something is weird. So just don't open yourself up and put yourself out there to people who are hunting for your energy and your time and your knowledge without having earned it and having gone first through a time of adjustment with you, right? So I know you know what I mean, and you should practice that. So when you are with the right kind of people, right, in the right kind of company, with people who are in the similar vibe as you, the similar energy frequency, it doesn't have to be exactly the same, but similar, you will feel comfortable. You will feel not pushed, not forced. You will feel that there's harmony in this interaction. How often do you feel that? Not very often, right? So that is because most people are not in that vibe. So let me say something important. At the time that Buddhist meditations were practiced by monks and nuns, in monasteries and ashrams in India and in Vedanta, they were isolated with their own group of people, and they were selective about the people they let in to these ashrams and these monasteries. So their energies were protected in a controlled environment. But in today's world, in our life, we are outside in the world. We travel all over the world. In 8 hours, 10 hours, we are on opposite continents. We are also getting energies from social media, from Facebook, from Instagram, from the visual on the audio, from music, from the voice, from the messages you hear. And this is unprecedented. This has never happened in the history of the world before, as far as we know it. Maybe in other worlds, other galaxies, but in our world right now, we are transitioning from this material 3D world to the fifth dimension, which is connection with our heart, with our child. Our golden child is flowering. So you have a responsibility to understand all of these. Wake up, be smart, be spiritually street smart, and learn what you have to learn and put it in practice through these methods. So this mistake of talking to a lot of people just randomly and opening yourself up and telling them your private life is going to put you in danger. Your aura may be weakened. You may gain infections. You may gain, for example, cold, flu, pulmonary, uncomfortable pulmonary infections, or eye infections, or rashes, or anything. You can get anything if you just open yourself up to anyone and everything. And that is the advice, okay? So those are the immediate things you can do. Tomorrow, start doing them. And you should also be very smart in identifying who is ready and mentally and spiritually available to receive your presence, your knowledge, your information. And this is one of the highest practices that accomplished gurus do and know. They don't open up to just anyone. They know they are very vulnerable. Their energies are very vulnerable because they meditate and they connect with the source. So people sometimes are very rude to teachers and gurus. They are very offensive. They get very angry with them. I have seen it with my own eyes living in an ashram in India for 1 year. I have seen people who have become very angry at the guru, at the sadhu, director of the ashram, and very frustrated, dumping all this negativity on him like if he was at fault. And I know that sadhus and gurus are not perfect. We are not perfect. We are in the process of evolution, all of us, including teachers and gurus. But I have seen this happening, of this extreme negativity, anger, and frustration, because it's their own frustrations, and they are not getting where they want to be, or they are not reaching the level of understanding, spiritual growth that they wish they had at that point, and they become very angry. So you should be aware that people can snap at any moment, even if they are called your friends. When something is not working, some energies may be boiling in them, and they can snap and they can hurt you. So you have to be on the look, not living in fear or suspicious of everyone, but be smart. Know that this can happen, and don't share about you too soon, because you are extending yourself with your energy. You are extending yourself. When you open yourself to someone in your heart, in your mind, with your life, your past life, your experiences, your spiritual experiences, you are extending your energy, right? You are giving yourself. So don't do it that easy, please. Okay, let's go to the next main point, that is in this understanding of energy, how to transform, is avoid energy leaking and close your aura after each meditation. Okay, so In years of studying these, I heard these a few times, not from many teachers, but several teachers that I trust, and I think they are themselves accomplished gurus and self-realized at different levels. They have said that before meditation, especially after meditation, your aura opens up, your heart opens up, because you enter into a different dimension, into a different mode, a different vibration. So during meditation, it opens, and you cannot just stop the meditation, stand up and start talking to people, start working or driving. You have to wait for a few hours maybe, or a few minutes if you don't have time, to be very conscious, to bring back your energy to a neutral point and slowly start talking, using words, and starting your thought process again, right? Slowly, gently. And after each meditation session, you have to do these. Also, before going to sleep, you should take a moment, be aware, and ask for permission to enter a different mode that you are going to enter, and bring to your awareness feelings of love and blessings and compassion as a protection to enter into your sleep. And you lay down or sit before sleeping, lay down on your bed and feel your body. Don't just go to sleep, because you are full of chaotic energies from the world, from the day. So just take a few breaths, connect with your body, maybe 10-15 minutes. You don't have to go into a full meditation, but just relax, connect with your body, feel each extremity, each organ within you. Breathe in, breathe out, bring thoughts of love and strength and positive vibrations, and then start falling asleep. If you practice this every day, you will see that in a few weeks you will start to feel that people and people's comments and world events, they start affecting you less and less and less, okay? Because they are not able to steal your energy. See, another esoteric principle is energy goes where attention goes. Energy leaks where you put your attention. You can put your attention in something positive and the energy will go there, like many healers do. Or you can put your attention in negative people, negative events, world news. Of course, we want to watch the news to be informed, depending on what you want. But don't put your energy, just know the basic news to be informed, but don't put your energy every night watching the news for hours and hours, videos, hours and hours before you go to sleep or during the day, because you're leaking energy. Energy goes where attention goes, and then everything keeps affecting you and bringing you down, okay? So be smart about that. And also, there are many tantric meditations, like the great guru Osho. He taught many people shaking meditation, giverish meditation, and many exercises that are very somatic, bodily movements to shake these energies off of your body, of your mind. And I will teach these also in other videos and in private classes if you join my classes. And this is a practice that I have been doing with my guru, very beautiful. And these exercises and breathing techniques will strengthen your aura, your electromagnetic field, and will make you stronger. And this is how you overcome, transcend any negativity from people in the world. It's not that you don't care or have become numb. It's because your energy and your aura, which is your shield, is so strong that you become unshakable. And I wish for every one of you who are watching to reach this level, because this is the way we were meant to live this world. We were not meant to be in chaos, fear, worries, even when there are unavoidable difficult situations in the world. if imagine what you can do, how better you will deal with everything if you have a strong field, a strong aura, unshakable energy, good positive energy in you, life prana that makes you strong and vibrant and joyful, and you can take things to a different level. So that's what I want to offer to you, okay, in classes. Okay, let's go quickly over what are critical moments, okay, where you should be careful with your energy. So another thing I want to recommend is to be very careful with the company you choose and the people you hang out with, and carefully observe neutral zones. What are neutral zones? Neutral zones are gaps that are everywhere in life, in the universe, in the cosmos, in life, in the world. And these gaps are in certain times and phases in the day and in the world. For example, different moon phases of the moon create gaps and different modes of energy. Sunrise and sunset. In sunrise, there is a different mode of energy, and just before sunrise, from dark to light, there is a gap, and this is what we call a neutral zone, which nothing is happening, so to speak. And these times are either very vulnerable because entities can get in, or they are very good opportunities because you are in touch with the source. That's why energies are attracted to these times, because there is good and bad at the same time, right? So in these time zones, your aura is vulnerable, you are very clean, pure, and open, and some negative entities are going to want that candy. They are going to want that cake, and they want to attach to that. But you attract different things depending on many things, depending on your soul, on your level of evolution, on your karma, on your state of mind, and your health, your physical health, and other things, right, that I cannot talk about in this video. But just know that there are these gaps that you have to be aware of and careful, and know how to handle them. Sunset is another important time. Just before sunset, the energy is kind of like a lower energy because you are going into the dark, and it's shifting. It's considered like a no man's land, like my guru says, Satya, no man's land. So during this time, when the sun goes down, just be with yourself. Be alone. Don't talk to people. Don't look people in the eyes. Don't interact with people. Just go within, connect with the source, ask for protection, even if it's quickly, just a few seconds, right? Just before darkness, before sunset. And just be aware that you don't want to absorb negative energies. Just a quick thought, energy goes where attention goes. So you're putting your attention in protecting yourself from negative vibes, negative energies. Another zone or phase that is vulnerable is right after an emotional crisis. Right after an emotional crisis, it can be a fight with family, friends, a catastrophe, a natural disaster, an emotional meltdown, an accident, any of that creates an emotional crisis. Your energy becomes neutral after the crisis, okay? So you have to sit with that emotional crisis, wait for the gap to come, and then you will feel better, okay? Another neutral zone or phase of vulnerability is right after meditation. Like I said before, I'm not going to explain it again. It is recommended that you make small pause after meditation. Just stay, open your eyes, take a few breaths, maybe a minute, it's all you need, maybe 5 minutes, and then incorporate yourself slowly in the next 5 minutes into society, into normal life. Another neutral zone or phase is after sickness, okay? When you are recovering from sickness, don't force yourself or push yourself to do anything immediately in your daily life, okay? This is the same advice for women who have their period, their menstruation. This is also a time where women are releasing a lot of energy during menstruation. And then when the menstruation stops, they days later they feel a lot of energy and a lot of creativity. Depending on your health, this may vary, but usually once you recover from the pain and the exhaustion that sometimes menstruation causes, because it's a release of powerful energy that creates another human being. Of course, you are dealing with powerful energies as a woman, and this is a blessing. So after menstruation, you wait a day, you don't talk to anyone, be alone, sit with life as your best friend. I like to think about it as sitting in a deck in a lake, and you can sit like with Snoopy and Charlie. Okay, so this is your time to recover, sitting with life, sitting with Snoopy, and just chat, just chill, just let it be, and you will see how this transforms into the energy of love and creativity. And then women can be very creative and multitasking, because we are blessed with these cycles of menstruation that create life and go with the phases of the moon is the most beautiful blessing. Of course, sometimes it's very painful and uncomfortable, but that's another topic. Nothing is good or bad, right? It's two sides of one coin, which is the divine, and it comes with happiness and sadness and with pain and suffering. But at the same time, it is the most beautiful thing that life has given us as women. And regardless of whether you are a mother or not, you have the potential to be, and you have this creative energy, which is sexual energy, the energy of creating another human being. And it comes out as menstrual cycle. Just like in men, it comes out as ejaculation, okay? So during these times, also for men goes the same. Don't force yourself to do or talk after intercourse of after ejaculation, right? Just take one moment, be with yourself, be alone, maybe for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, if you can afford it, if you can do it. Is very healthy. It cleans your energies. And also it is recommended by many teachers not to have intercourse during menstruation, because it's a time of energy release and is considered a downward movement of release. So you just have to let it be and don't interfere. And also during sex, there is a lot of energy transmission. So the time and the way you do it is also very important. I'm also going to be teaching about that in these beautiful classes about sex, sexual energy, the divine energy, sexuality, and how corrupted it has become in our society, unfortunately. As a counselor, I talk to a lot of people with sexual issues, intimacy issues, pornography addictions. That's it. Those are the major points that I wanted to share with you today. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know your interest. Put yourself in contact with me through the comments below, and I will respond. I will keep track of your interest for these private classes on tantra, energy work, yogic practices, spiritual growth, spiritual counseling. So just get in touch with me, tell me what you want, your needs, and I will respond the best fit for you. Okay? Thank you. That's all. Lots of love to you. See you soon.